Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another video right here on Free Will Photos. Now, this video is not scripted, and I was literally just editing photos from a photo walk earlier in the year, and I was using the Generative Erase tool. And I know that this has been a very controversial and frustrating tool in many regards, but I think I kind of figured out where it works really well and kind of where it doesn't. And I wanted to show you a use case scenario of when the tool works well. So that's what this video is about. This is by no means me trying to change people's minds about the tool overall, because I know everyone's photo is going to yield different results. And, that's kind of the challenge of this AI model and things of that sort. But I do want to show that there are times when this tool does get it right. And one of the times is with the photo that we're going to take a look at. So let's go ahead and jump into the computer and take a look at that. Here we are inside of ON1, and I'm showing you the results. Now, if you need to, you can go ahead and pause the video here and just take a look and see if you can figure out where there are some issues or where there may be some problems with the removal. But just know that I did use the Generative Erase to remove some things from this particular image, and I don't think that you can tell. And the reason that you can't tell is because the background is very, very blurry. There's not much detail there. So when you have a lower resolution file, which is what the AI is going to regenerate. And I'll show you where the thing that I removed from the background actually is. And it's relatively large. But I want to show you that you kind of want to look at backgrounds that don't have much detail in them when you want to use that Generative Erase tool. Now, I'm still working through some techniques of if you do have backgrounds where the Generative Erase tool just is the only thing that you really want to try to use, and your backgrounds or whatever it is that you're trying to remove or fix in the image, maybe the Generative Erase tool along with the clone brush or the clone stamp tool, as well as the healing brush and the perfect eraser. Like, you're going to have to combine some of those things. But I'm not ready for that video yet. So with all of that rambling out of the way, let me go ahead and show you what I actually removed. So if you look over here on the left-hand side, you can see I got rid of an extra flower that was kind of poking through in this image. It was distracting. I wanted the attention to be more on this flower. And I'm by no means saying this is a great image, right? But when I looked at it and said, okay, what do I need to do to this image to make it a little bit better? And the first thing that I thought of was, this is just too distracting. I need to get rid of it. And then there's also some distracting elements down here in the corner. So when I go ahead and hit the layer where I actually remove this, you can see what actually happened. So let me see if I can get this to recreate the exact same render. So I'm going to go ahead and select my lower layer here after I've turned everything off. And you just got to give my computer a second to think. I actually had to restart it today because it was going through some, it was hurting. It was hurting. But let's go ahead and grab the, oh, don't want that. We want the Generative Erase tool. All right. So it's preparing the layer. It's getting ready to give me the tool. So I'm just going to make my brush size a little bit larger. And what I like to do is paint over the edges and kind of outline my area, right? You want to go a little bit larger than the area that you want to remove. So once I have it painted all the way around, then I come back and I fill in the areas that I did not actually select. So you can see I have a little bit more space on the outside. I'm just going to go ahead and hit generate here, and we'll let ON1 do its thing. It should move relatively quick. Like I said, I had to restart my computer, clear some of the cache or the memory that was being used. So if you are experiencing that, it may be worth restarting your computer just so you can get a fresh start, especially if you're using one of the M series Macs, M series Apple computers. I'll say it like that, because there is a Max chip. But the point here is you definitely want to make sure that you clear your cache, give your computer an ability to run as smoothly as possible. So I restarted my computer earlier today and things have been moving relatively quick. You can see it's moving through this pretty good, and I'm not going to cut this video. I'm just going to let it play in real time so you can kind of see that, one, I'm getting the results, and you can see this is the result that I got. Like, you'll have to make a determination if this is good or bad for you, but definitely take a look at your backgrounds. And you can see this was also a relatively noisy background to begin with. We could zoom in here a little bit. So let's zoom in and see what the results look like. This is zoomed in. I'm not overly concerned about this little patch right here that doesn't look quite the same. I don't think anyone would pick that out. If I were to show you this image, you likely would not pick that out unless you were like genuinely pixel peeping. So overall, I think that this tool, it does work. I have also found that it doesn't work on every image. All right. So if you have some really complex things that you're trying to remove, and this is by no means a dig at ON1, I think that they're doing a phenomenal job with trying to get software that's innovative, and they're trying to release, competitive software, which it's a really steep market to release competitive software in. But the point of this entire video was just to showcase that you can get some pretty good results using the local version. By the way, I'm not using, let me go back over here. I'm not using Stability AI. I am only using my computer's hardware to actually generate this. So if I click over here on the gear, you can see I'm using local Gen AI. And that's all that I'm ever going to use on this channel. I don't plan to get a Stability AI account. I don't feel like paying for any of that stuff because honestly, I don't use a whole lot of AI generated things in pretty much anything that I create. I may remove some stuff, but I'm not one of those AI generative individuals. Now, another thing that I did want to showcase is removing this little area down here. So let me just go ahead and click and drag over that. And you can see I made my selection. I'll go ahead and generate. Once I get that back, there we go. I'll go ahead and generate this. And I will speed up this version of the video or this portion of the video because I don't think that you need to watch this render again. But I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to speed it up so that way you can see exactly what happens when this gets done. So be back when this is done. Okay, so now that is complete, and you can see it did a really good job with this area. Now, again, I'm still working on understanding this software a little bit more, or at least this tool inside of the software, and I encourage everyone to keep practicing and trying it out on their images. And obviously, this is the first version of this tool inside of ON1. So it's in its infancy. Again, this is not me giving ON1 a break, but it's just calling it what it is, right? This is the first iteration of this tool. So I think that it will get better over time, and I do hope that it gets better over time. But ultimately, these are the types of images I think this tool is actually meant to work on, at least right now. And as we get a little bit further into ON1 developing this tool, I think we'll start to get more resolution and hopefully maybe a little bit more realistic results to things that have more detail in it. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about the Generative Erase tool. I know there's going to be mixed comments, but let's try to keep it cordial and, relatively professional, if you will, down in the comment section. And I get it. Some people are split different ways, but let's just be respectful to one another. And yeah, so I love to hear. I look forward to seeing you guys in the comments. And until next time, I want you to stay inspired and keep creating. Peace.